And here, actually, you're going to be lying down. So one wants to put their head here, foot that way, and the other one want to be on the other side, foot that way. So it's kind of like, you know, head-to-head type deal.
Okay.
Prepare for a guided, yeah.
Watch the poo. Don't let him poo.
Oh, well, you can move over here. That's why I chose a nice. Here, you can move over here on the right, too.
Okay.
Yeah, you can move over here. Move wherever you guys like.
Rather not poo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Chris. I'll help you get your leaves off later.
Just feel the warmth on your face for a second. So tell me, how does it feel to lay here at the cemetery?
Spiky.
Strange, huh? Ah. There's a reason why I have my students lay down on the grounds of the cemetery, because we're trying to replicate death. Eventually, this is how you're going to wind up. It's a rare thing that you die in a chair. Most dangerous thing you'll do in a day is driving a car. And most people wind up, in Vietnamese we call it thẳng cẳng, nằm. Thẳng cẳng, nằm is to lie down, thẳng cẳng is feet straight. Yeah. And this is where, my uncle spoke at my mom's funeral a week ago, just about a week ago. And he spoke about how she is finally at rest, laid to rest. Keyword, laid to rest. And here in this position, you are well rested. Your body's with the earth, you're grounding. You're exchanging energy with the earth right now. And one of these days, it's gonna come to a rest. Death meditation is one of the hardest to engage in, participate, sustain long term in one's practice. There are monks that come out at night. They actually sneak out of the monastery, or some of them sneak out of the monastery to do this on their own because of monastery rules that they have to stay indoor after late at night. Then you have Tri Dao, who, while in Laos, the cremation was right there next to the monastery. And I purposely, willfully went out there into the dark trying to look for bones and trying to look for ghosts. Actively trying to look for ghosts. What you should feel is that peace. The peace that is out here. Because none of these people can violate precepts anymore. All things come to an end out here. This is the image of that. The image of restfulness. Things coming to an end. All things conditioned are subject to impermanence. Anicca vata sankhara. Uppaidavaya dhammino upachitva nirochanti te sangho vasamo sukho. All things conditioned are subject to impermanence. As they come and as they go, as they arise, as they cease. Them coming to ceasing is bliss. We're more attached to our bodies and we're more attached to life on earth, a desire to exist. When monks get on a city bus, all we see is bones on a city bus. We see death in other people. That's how we have compassion and non-judgment for other people, because we see death instantly. We see that they are subject to old age, disease, decay, and death. And in this moment, you should be closing your eyes and just focusing on your breath, the impermanence of the breath, the impermanence of life. Surrounded by grass, leaves that have fallen from the tree, leaves that remind us of impermanence. Even the grass is not even green, decaying, changing. In this moment, we engage into death meditation, of which we ask 3 questions. Where will I die? Right here, right now. Back in Texas, in Florida, in Thailand, New York, New Jersey. Your heart can stop any moment. You all listened to your heart yesterday. Cardiac arrest. Why do you think there is AEDs, automatic defibrillators everywhere in the United States government office buildings? Because anyone can have a cardiac arrest. Where will I die? The next one would be, when will I die? The problem is we think we have time when we in fact don't. Routine daily activities lead us to believe that time is so slow. It's passing by so slow. Tick tock, tick tock. Tick-tock. When will I die? In my 30s? In my 40s? In my 50s? In my 60s? So they say in Vietnam, these are some of the most dangerous ages. 39, 49, I think it starts at 29. 29, 39, 49, and I believe it stops at 59. These are the prevalent ages that typically karma ripens. And it tends to ripen in a very negative way at these ages. People in Vietnam culturally are very aware of these markings, these timelines in one's life. Many stories presented that a man tried to dodge his own death when the fortune teller told him he was going to die at that age. At 59, at 49, he retreated into his house, barricaded himself in his room, thinking that he was going to be safe. And best believe, a humongous branch broke off of a tree, fell through the roof, and hit him and killed him. Where will I die? When will I die? Countless stories overseas. All you have to do is go overseas and be with 10 families and ask them, tell me stories of death that you have heard. Tell me stories of death that you have experienced. The next one is, how will I die? That provokes a lot of wise fear when you think about it. I can trip in the shower. I can trip through the steps. I can break an angle, ground level fall, hit my head, blunt force trauma, a brain aneurysm, hemorrhaging stroke, a stray bullet on 4th of July. How we live determines the way how we die. How? What is comforting throughout death meditation is knowing that the Dhamma protects you. Why and how? Keeping the precepts. When you look after the precepts look after you. Those who live like a drug dealer dies like a drug dealer. Live by the sword, you will die by the sword. May the Dhamma protect you, they say. May the Dhamma protect you. At every blessing, may the celestial beings, may the devas, may the Dhamma, may the triple gem protect you. So yes, even though death meditation provokes fear, anxiety, there's also the antidote to death, which is by and through the teachings of monks, we learn to live in such a way that gives meaning and purpose in our life. And the Buddha says, those who have lived wisely do not fear death. When will I die? Where will I die? How will I die? Every day we wake up is an opportunity to start new, to be reborn again. To feel the warmth on our face is evidence that we are alive. The ability to wake up breathing and knowing that I have another day to be victorious. To be grateful. Because every morning you wake up, there are thousands and thousands of people that did not get to wake up. Died in their sleep. Coming back to loving kindness meditation and balancing out the uncertainty of life, the uncertainty of one's mind and body. We wish for ourselves, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be healthy. May the Triple Gem protect me and my family. May the Triple Gem guide me on the road to uncertainty. May I live long. May I dedicate my body, speech, and mind in this long life of serving others. May I have a peaceful death. May I reach nirvana. May I take favorable rebirth. May I have the opportunity to listen to the Dhamma again. May I hear the Dhamma one last time. May I learn how to time my own death by and through meditation. May all sentient beings be well. May all sentient beings from the north, south, east, and west be happy. May all beings realize the light of their own true nature. May all beings be liberated. Slowly you all relax your concentration from the contemplation of death, Maranusati. Slowly you all arise and open your eyes and realize that you are alive again. And we will spend the next 10 minutes out here for you all to reflect around you and questions that you have about death, the afterlife, and the 3 questions to be contemplated often. Where, how, and when will I expire? you're all ready, you all can arise and sit in the lotus position for questionings from a very awkward position ever in your life, experiencing cemetery meditation. You know, if I was truly homeless, I would drag my monk robes with me, my alms bowl, you know, fold my sankati like I did into a blanket, and then come out here and just lay out here and read my books, contemplate even more, walking meditation, sitting meditation. This is like my home. This truly is like my home. So, questions that you all may have. Fears, anxieties. Hmm?
Once you do know, once you no longer exist, is it truly lonely or is it peaceful?
Once you die, it all falls back on the knowledge you have accumulated in your lifetime, in the previous lifetime. And they say that knowledge doesn't leave you. That's the only thing you take with you. Actually, two things. Or I should say three. The knowledge that you have accumulated, the bad karma and the good karma. Those are the three things that you carry with you. And what evidence do we have about knowledge carrying with another person? Well, look around you in society and ask yourself, how come other people get the point? How come others become mathematicians and others can't? How come others have doctorate in medicine and others can't? Because in their previous lives, they were doctors. How can some learn Pali this lifetime and some will never get Pali in this lifetime? Because they were monks in their previous lifetime. Like me. Matter of fact, I had someone who guided previous life, something. It was all recorded. And she gave me insight. She guided me, and I was able to see that I was this lonely monk in the forest, up in the mountains, in my previous lives. Which explained how come I had really bad ADHD all the way to college. From birth to all the way to college, I had really bad ADHD, but yet I could remember the entire chanting book. And when I first heard Pali, hooked. Like hooked on phonics. So therefore, the knowledge that you accumulate is very important. It carries with you. So the loneliness becomes when you do take unfavorable rebirth into a squirrel on that tree, what does this squirrel think about? You know, as we were at the beach, have you seen the dog on Facebook or whatever elsewhere around social media where there was a dog that stood there while the waves crashing into his feet, a couple inches into his feet, and he was just looking at the waters. And other people wrote, I can relate to that. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have.
I
Okay.
can relate to it.
You'll see it. It's all viral. And likewise, you know, we've seen animals too cry. We've seen cows cry. We've seen llamas or donkeys commit suicide after their loved ones have died, they willfully walk into the lake, pond, and drown themselves. But how do they know? How do they feel? How do they know? We've also seen dogs and cats reflect sadness, knowing. Some animals, look at the animals, some are smarter than others. How do you think they became, how is that some are smarter than others? Because of knowledge that they accumulated in previous lives. So their brains are set up differently than other animals. Ignorant animals' brain set up differently. Look at the human realm. Why is people so ignorant, incapable of understanding? Lack of capacity of understanding, lack of capacity to feel, lack of capacity to love. You just gotta sit there and really scratch your head and be like, well, they probably didn't master this part in their last life. And there's still a lot left to do in this lifetime. So that was a really good question. And yeah, you don't want to be lonely as an animal in the animal realm, or even the hungry ghost realm. There's plenty of hungry ghosts around here. And they're mad. They didn't get what they wanted. They got what they didn't want. They have big bellies and small mouth. Their thirst is... They cannot quench their thirst flying around here in this cemetery. Lonely, angry. Nothing worse than that, because you look around us, even in the living human realm. Lonely, angry, plenty of those. They're already hungry ghosts without becoming hungry ghosts yet. For sure, no matter what you become, there's always the mind, the chitta, that comes with you. And when there's a mind, there will be the propensity for suffering. And because of the instructions given in the Buddha Dhamma, that you know what to do when the mind is thinking, cognition. You will know how to meditate as a snake, as a rat, as a cat, whatever you become. Even if you do become a deva, a demigod realm, you wouldn't continue to play around with the other demigods. You would take the time to meditate as a demigod or a deva, and realizing that your days are also coming up. That's what the Buddha does. He shows up to the deva realms once in a while and remind them it's impermanent. They all get sad when he comes up there, because he's there to rain on their parade. Kind of like us monks showing up to your life, raining on your parade. I just so happen to make it fun. But if you ever get the real side, Theravadan side of me, the Eastern Theravadan side of me, that's what we do. We don't smile. We go there and we're like, you're going to die one day. And then we walk away. Ji Dao just so happened to live in America for 30 years, so he's very considerate of American perspective and feelings. The Theravadins basically wants to see less hungry ghost realms, see less of a lot of things, and more arahants. Any additional questions? Any fears? This is the only time you got to identify your fears with death.
Laying there, I was trying to figure out, why do I cling to life so much?
Cling on to.
Life.
Maybe you haven't lived, experienced life, so therefore you don't know what is pleasure, what lies more yet to be explored. So out of curiosity you cling. Out of anticipation you cling. Which is good. I think that it's good clinging for someone your age, given the circumstances that you have experienced. Because it gives you a zest of life. I mean, who wants to think about death all day? That's depressing and could lead to suicide. You want to balance the middle way of desire and non-clinging by understanding this is where I'm at. And yeah, I do have proper desire to explore and to learn and to see for the sake of education, for the sake of knowing this world. Loka vidu, just like the Buddha, Loka vidu, which is the knower of the world. Mm-hmm.
I like that saying.
Loka vidu. It's part of the chant of the 9 qualities of the Buddha, which we'll go into at the monastery. Itipiso bhagava arahang sama sambuddho.
I already know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
Loka vidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manutsanang buddho bhagavati. Quite frankly, I magnetize. I what do you call it? The magnifying glass. I magnify the Loka Vidu part of it because I want my students to be well-rounded students, and be part of that is you have to learn social work and engage into social work, because it's social work that gets you into nursing homes, hospitals, deathbeds, and subsequently here, and the paperwork that leads to here. Know what needs to be known, study what needs to be studied.
Is there something to reflect on with people spending such large sums of money on a symbol of their death? In the case of tombstones?
Well,
Like some of these places have to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
sure. And it is evidence of clinging on to existence after death. I still want to leave my mark here. That's the statement. From a Buddhist perspective, you look around, you're like, what more do you want? You came, you conquered, and you left.
Yeah.
Hopefully you conquered something,
Especially with how much money.
right?
put into it.
You know?
Here's a backstory to this family. This person, Oswald E. Bonney, 1871 to 1950. But then I guess his son must have passed away. Oswald E. Bonney Jr., 1903 to 1950. I wonder if they died at the same, same
maybe.
incident. Whatever it may be.
There's somebody that was missing in action in France during World War One.
Yeah. Saw somebody over here. They were in both World War One and World War Two. And some doesn't have a name at all, unless nobody's buried there. But it could, maybe they just put something there, but they didn't want their name to be there. That's a possibility too. Or
All
even
this
things
here,
like that.
all this here is subject to impermanence also. People actually think, how long you think you're going to be here? A couple of centuries?
They recycle.
Right.
My running joke is, at what point does grave robbing become archaeological digging?
Right.
Good point.
Yeah.
So this is evidence of desire right here. All these tombs out here is evidence of desire and lack of significant depth understanding of impermanence.
And being buried with things and stuff like that.
What more did you want? You're done. You're done for. You're done with. Well, your bones not gonna last forever.
Some of these coffins nowadays, it might last a couple centuries.
That's it. It's just a big cycle. Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, comes and go, comes and go, comes and go. So
It's crazy to think also that is what you come to.
right.
The saying that your family hopefully puts on your tombstone for you, your name, your birthday, and your death day. And that's it. That's all you are. I think that's why I try not to let pressures of those around me, of successes and experiences affect me, because that's not going to show when you die.
I did this in California also too. I also took the family out. Well, they wanted to show me their grandfather, and then that was when I took the opportunity to give talks on deaths also too. This is a very amazing thing. It's a very good and necessary thing. It just brings back your priority very quickly when you go back home. And you realize, oh crap, I've been mismanaging my money or time or places or things, and you just put your stuff in order using the best available science that we all know how. With all the journaling and all of, go to Barnes and Noble or even Target, all the journals that's there that help you organize everything. Put your stuff in order so you don't live a life of regret. Just tame this life. Tame your mind and tame this life. Leave a mark. Hopefully that will last a couple 100 years, and then that too will perish. So if I die right now, if I drop dead right now, my teachings will go on. Hopefully the digital footprints will still continue, but I don't really expect it. I don't expect anything. No. And then you guys gonna rave about it, and then they're gonna rave about it, and then I may last 100 or 200 years after my death. And then after that, who's Chi Dao? Nor do I really actually care if they remember me or not. I came during the time that I came, just like the Buddha did 2,000-something years ago. And that's it. He taught to those who needed to be taught to. He liberated those who needed to be liberated, and off he went. He's in bliss right now, wherever he's at. Or he could just check up on us and we wouldn't even know. He can manifest into anything, and then like the lizard in front of you, and then just be like, hi, how you doing? And take rebirth again and again. Ajahn Mun did that. Ajahn Mun was able to have out-of-body experiences and fly everywhere and then come back to his body. Ajahn Mun. What makes you think you can't do that? You yourself can't do that by and through meditative practice. And so some of these monks out there. There are monks out there that can do that. And like I told you, when I experienced that in 2017, I went out of body experience for 20 minutes and was in space. And I was like, I'm here. I know I'm here. That's the big difference, is that knowing that you're there. And when you come back, that's it. It would be dreaming if you didn't know you were there. It would be a very different type of experience and adjectives that you use. So technically, you can actually experience death before death. And you can experience consciousness before consciousness. Wait, that don't make sense. You can experience consciousness before death. Cessation of the body, the vital functioning organs of the body. Clinical death. You can experience the continuation of stream of consciousness. Now I believe scientists have evidence that the cells are conscious even after death. The cells in your body. Whatever that means. But who cares what we were reborn into? Just not repeating this again. What I don't want for me is to come back and oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh man, what kind of job am I gonna have now?
Maybe a little wealthier.
That too doesn't last. See, those who internalize the Four Noble Truth doesn't cling on to anything or moved by it, moved by salary, moved by anything. You know what I mean? We hear good news and we're like, it ain't gonna last long. Even if all of us, each one of us right now wins $1 million, damn well it's gonna be more problems. Somebody gonna know about it, someone gonna ask about it. If not investors and people who are, who are there to get your money. Let me multiply that 1 and a 2 for you. But if you sit on it, you also have fears. Well, what if I don't have enough time to spend it all? What if I give it away? all sorts of fears. So Buddhists, we don't, you know what I mean? Own nothing, want nothing. Just is. You have your basic necessities, you enjoy things here, but just don't cling on to them. You ever get a diamond ring and see it sparkle once in a while? And you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. But I gotta take this with me when I die. No, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. So 247, I'm going to 247, and it hasn't rained yet. So it's up to you all if you want to practice walking meditation out here. Though ideally I wanted like dirt or something rather than grass, but the weather says it was going to rain around like 4 and it's only 247.
Did you want to see if maybe the monastery would have more sort of walking area?
Yeah, we can. I just didn't want them to be like, what's, you know, it's a Mahayana monastery, so they'll be like, what's going on? What's happening here? Because they're trying to warm up to us as we're trying to warm up to them and not go directly into the practice, you know, unless they have a garden that is dedicated for it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. I wanted to just make some videos before I leave here, so I'm gonna end this. Yeah.
We could also go back to the Wat too.
By then it would rain,
Oh.
because it's already 3. We get to the Wat, it's gonna be like 4 and it's gonna rain.
Fair enough.
Or the temperature is actually dropping by the hour. I'm surprised yeah, it's technically it's dropping like a couple degrees by the hours.
Right, everything is attached to me. Oh, you're fine. Whatever we do, I need to find a restroom first.
Okay, it's fine.
I need to go to the back of my sweater. Which is technically my mother's.
Yours, you're good. Well, stuff's your stuff. There's a restroom in the office.
Okay, maybe make this video, but I'm not sure. Maybe I should stand.
I can't either. There actually might be a restroom
Here?
here. Yeah, do you want us to hold it?
I think I'm okay. I don't think this.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Hello to all of you across the world. I'm at the cemetery here in Virginia with my students. I wanted to make this teaching and talk, and I don't think the entire world has ever heard such talk from any monk. I myself have never heard such talk or declaration from any monk. The declaration is, I have unshakable faith and confidence with my relationship with karma. Let's say, be careful what you wish for. Well, before my grandmother passed away, I dreamt and saw a public funeral in Vietnam. And that is not a good thing. That usually says there's a death that is coming to your family. Then my grandmother died. Last year, the same public funeral appeared in my dreams. And I was actually quite upset. I'm trained not to be moved by anything that is good or bad, but I was quite upset because I know that death looms in this family. Who? I don't know. What was my wish in my mind? Was that whoever it is, it had to be my dad or my mom. Right? It's all I got. And weeks before my mother died, which is a week ago, at the time of this talk, I wish that they have a quick death. No suffering. because I don't have the capacity to take care of them if they suffered perhaps a stroke in bed, lying there, cannot pee, cannot poop, cannot move around, just that paralysis type thing. And that it happened. The declaration of understanding karma and my relationship with karma is that I've given up 10 years of my life, actually my whole entire life, since age 14, of giving more and taking less, led to the peaceful death of my grandmother, and led to the peaceful death and quick death of my mother. And now I know that karma's got my back. And now I know that karma is listening. I respect karma, and karma respects me. What does this mean for all of you? Do exactly monks tell you to do. Pay respect to the triple gem. Practice the Dhamma meditation. Give more and take less. Why? I'm telling you. Look around you. Look around me. How will you die? When will you die? And where will you die? Cold in the blizzard? Frozen to death? Shot? Killed? Hit by a train? By a bus? Stroke? Paralysis from the neck down? For me, I know I'm going to have a good death. So that's the challenge for the entire world to watch, right? I'm 36. If karma calls me, look carefully where I die. Look carefully how I die. Look carefully when I die. And what do I look like in my coffin when I die? I just wanted to publish this video out. How long it lasts, how long I last, as the great experiment for the entire world under observations. I don't think any monk has ever spoken this way. I don't think any monk have ever said, I have unshakable faith and confidence with my relationship with karma. You gotta live a holy life. You gotta be holy yourself. You gotta know where your holiness lies. You gotta know where your action, thought, body, speech, and mind is to make such declarations. You cannot break precepts and say you're a holy person. You cannot break precepts and think you're gonna have a good death. You have been falling into delusion. You have been falling into ignorance. I waited actually all day today to make this talk because it needed to be with this background. Not in a room, not in any room, not with the Buddha behind me, here. Where it matters the most, here is where sorrow and lamentation and depression lies. But again, look back historically, now that Facebook is taking away the ability for us to store videos, but historically, on my timeline, over and over again, I've told you all, if I died, I would die happy. That's years ago, long before this talk took place. I want you all to do the same. I want you all to feel the same. I want you all to be confident in your death, to be fearless in your death. And that's what this talk is all about. It has nothing to do with me, it has everything to do with you. And when you live that holy life, living out the holy life, to be as holy as possible, you're going to know when you're going to die. You're going to have warnings before you die, or even family members. I think in this lifetime, I was very blessed to have warnings. And looking back, I can't really be mad at karma, or Lord Death, or Lord Karma. That's what I call it, in my own way. After someone dies close to your family, you mad as hell. You just mad as hell. I'll like, excuse me? You took them from me. A lot of people mad at God. They call it God. Call it what you want. They're mad. They're pissed to no end. But in my mom's death, I'm happy. You gotta go. I gotta go. Everyone's got to go. But just what more do you want? That was my dad's line, actually. You know, when grandmother died at age 80, my dad's like, what more do you want? She's 80. My last clinical case, the woman is now 70. Actually, active clinical case right now. And she says, go be sop. She said, go be sop. And what does that mean? Be sop meaning a lack of acceptance of her diagnosis of cancer. And for me, I looked at her Actually, I did kind of say, what more do you want? It's not a very comforting statement, but it's true. I mean, if I've lived to 70 and someone told me I have cancer, number one, the instant wisdom tells me I have a timeline left. I mean, I got months left to live, perhaps, depending on the diagnosis. So you already have a warning that you're going to die. Put your affairs in order. If I'm at 70 and the doctor says and I'm not accepting that right away, suffering, is it not? I don't know, it's this Theravada inside of me. But I also comforted her and I said, you're 70. There's people out there that is 70 that also live to 90 with cancer. That's also a possible truth and a possibility. Truly is. So again, there's just so many ways to die. How, when, where. And I want all of my fellow humans to know when to let go, how to let go. 2 weeks ago, I was in California for a woman who was dying. In Vietnamese, I explained to her the language that she understands. Let go, madam. Madam, I'm just a monk. I need you to let go of everything. People, places, and things, your daughters, your kids, and your husband. People, places, and things that you came into contact with in this lifetime. I need you to let go right now. Right now. I said it 3 times during my 5-day stay. And on the last day, I believe, or the second day, here's a woman that's dying. Organs are failing, and she smiled. It brought relief and comfort to everyone in the room. It was well worth the trip, the plane ticket, everything. That's beautiful, because now I know the family have come to acceptance. And so is she. So is the person that is passing away. Okay, we're coming up to that 9-minute mark. Practice, and you will have a very good conversation and relationship with karma. We all fear death. And when that time comes, I want you to go and sail towards the sun and never look back. And you leave a trail behind you where people are like, wow, what an inspiring death, and I want to die like that. May you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. May you reflect on his teaching. May the Dhamma protect you. May the Triple Gem protect you in this lifetime from violence, from death, from ill will. May you realize the light of your own true nature. May you be healed and be a significant source of healing for other people. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, that was a talk of a lifetime.